episode is 10 Little Warlords, and on the one hand, I really dig that they're going with this whole, like, subtle, semi-subtle, okay, not really subtle at all, Agatha Christie shout-out with, like, bringing everyone to this island and killing off folks, and it's all really cool. But, like, on the other hand, 10 Little Warlords, it kind of makes me think about the original title of that book, and then I just get sad because racism sucks. Yeah. But in any case, that's not what the episode is about. So what the episode is about is, I can't tell you, because that would be spoilers, and that would be wrong. And I know you've all seen the episode already, but whatever, it's important for me to go linearly as we progress. So no spoilers. We start the episode with Xena kind of lurking around like she lurks, and she wakes up Gabrielle because she hears something in the woods. And Gabrielle wakes up, sees Callisto's face, has that totally understandable moment of like, conflicting feelings. And, you know, reminds the audience that like, ha ha ha, Xena, isn't that funny how you're still stuck in Callisto's body, which is producing all sorts of conflicting feelings in me because I love you, but I hate you, but I love you, and it's very hard. Anyway, it turns out that the thing creeping towards them creepily in the night is in fact a fern-bedecked Joxer. And like, Joxer, I freaking love you, but you are the most extraneous person to these plots. Anyway, Joxer is there to bring them the news that Ares is summoning warlords together for like some great big warlord convention or something, and Callisto has an invitation, which, you know, instantly raises Xena's little con alerts, because Ares knows perfectly well that Callisto is not around. So she's all like, ooh, we must investigate. But so off Xena and Gabrielle go to investigate what could possibly be going on, and Gabrielle, as they near the little town, which is the site of the con, is very gung-ho. I mean, she's all kind of like, let's go get him, Xena, and it's weird, and it's kind of creeping me out. And luckily, it's not just weird writing, it's part of the plot. Because what we see transpiring is that all of these warlord dudes are totally calm, and they're just like, hey, are you here for the con? Hey, I'm here for the con too. Nice to meet ya. And it's weird, and one of them is wearing a kilt, which is even weirder. But so, while these warlord dudes are all being very civil to each other, the rest of the town, including Gabrielle, is flipping the flip out. Xena drags Gabrielle off to a nearby bar to, like, get her out of the way and calm her down, and Gabrielle is all, bring me some booze! And I kind of love this Gabrielle. She is, like, my favorite flavor of Gabrielle. I don't even know, but I love her. But it is in this bar that they meet a decidedly unsexy Ares. So on the one hand, I'm like, yes, Ares, you awesome! And on the other hand, I'm like, Ares, you look like crap. Where is your panache? Because this is a decidedly panache-free Ares. He looks like a hot mess. I mean, he has no product in his hair, and he's got all these like big dark circles of makeup under his eyes, and it's just like, where did the sexy go? Can we get Justin Timberlake in here? Because we need him to bring the sexy back. Ares is there to explain the plot to us. Basically, his sword, which possesses all of his godly power, and I am sorry, but that is some male-centric phallic imagery there that is cracking me up. It's been stolen, his magic godhood sword, and without it, he is this worthless shell of a man. Nice job, Xena writers. And Ares wants to get his sword back, and while he is not the god of war, there is no god of war. And so basically, they kind of hand-wave all this weirdness as, yeah, so peaceful people no longer can control their anger, and people who are normally angry are gonna be really focused. So Xena and Ares decide that what they need to do is to go to this warlord convention and figure out who's behind it all. So they get on a boat, and they get, like, transported to this island, and on their way they hear this fancy-pants message that comes from a magical, shiny, flashing top. And apparently what's going on is that all of these warlord dudes are going to get the chance to become the new god of war. And Ares is all like, I don't sound anything like that. This is just But, you know, it is what it is, and we learn that the person behind the whole thing is actually Sisyphus. Who I assume we met at some point in season 1, because Xena seemed familiar with him, and I'm just like, you look like a random dude in a beard to me. I have no memory of you. Which I think tells you a lot about the way my short-term, long-term memory functions, which is to say, it doesn't. Anyway, Anyway, Sisyphus claims that he has escaped from Hades with this sword, and he is willing to give the sword to whoever can defeat the hideous monster that's locked in the basement. And that person will become the new god of war, and Sisyphus will be immortal. And Xena and Ares, meanwhile, are kind of giving each other the side eye of, yeah, you're full of crap. And of course, all these warlord dudes, once they realize they could actually become the god of war, instantly start fighting amongst each other and forming alliances and killing people in the alliance, and just lots and lots of death and destruction on their way to this remarkably phallic goal. Xena and Ares are still kind of sticking together, hoping that they can get to the bottom of this, because really at the end of the day, it's going to be better if Ares keeps on keeping on as the god of war, instead of letting one of these warlord dude idiots have that kind of power. And, you know, he promises with his, like, ooh, I'm a human now and I understand things with my heart, that heart. This is not a heart. I just realized I did a heart thing, and that's boobs. Maybe Ares is able to think with the power of boobs now that he's human. I don't know. But in any case, he promises Xena that if she helps him, he will restore her to her normal body, and everyone will kind of breathe a collective sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Gabrielle and Joxer have decided to disobey everything that Xena told them, and they have followed them to this island, and are kind of seeking them out with some very, I don't know, they are taking a long way around. They decide to, like, sneak in through the pipes or something, and they just keep bickering. And again, I'm just kind of like, Joxer, why are you here? I don't... And meanwhile, Gabrielle and Joxer discover that there is no actual monster to fight. There's basically a big fan with, like, a big stone monster mouth around it, which kind of, I don't really understand why this is necessary in any way, shape, or form, but, you know, we'll go with it, especially because crazy Joxer takes out his sword and starts, like, hacking away at the stone, and is all like, I defeat you, monster! Rah! And I just have hearts for my eyes, and I just, oh, Joxer. Now, amidst all this, Xena has been half-heartedly trying to search for Ares' sword, and finds it in the middle of fighting all of these warlord dudes, because apparently it's just sitting on top of a dead warlord dude. I don't know why, I don't know how, but we'll go with it, and Xena has the sword of Ares, as she and Ares defeat the last of the warlord dudes. Sisyphus appears, and he's all like, oh, Xena, you must do it. You must become the new goddess of war. You must kill Ares, and then we will win everything ever. And Xena's all, well, yeah, but wasn't there supposed to be a monster that I was supposed to fight? Like, you are reneging on your weirdo deal, Mr. Sisyphus. As Joxer bounds in to tell them, aha, he has slain the monster, now he gets to be the god of war, and oh my god, yes please, I would be so happy to live in a world where Joxer was the god of war. I feel like this would be awesome all the time. There is no downside. Now, Xena just pretty much eye rolls at this, kills the last guy with the sword, and hands the sword to Ares, who instantly, like, this weirdo flame special effect starts happening, and we hear, like, whooshy, 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 and there's, like, blur, 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 camera lens, and then we see Ares back to his hair product, sexy McSmirks-a-lot self, and all the fans cheer in the background, hey, it's Ares! And he kind of disappears. Now, Gabrielle is the one who gets really upset when Ares disappears, calling him out with the whole, like, you promised, hello, that you would return Xena to herself. But Xena is a little more blasé about the whole thing, because she, you know, she knew what was going on. She knew that Ares was talking some smack and talking some lies, because that is what the men do. But as things turn out, Ares does keep his word, because in the middle of a romantic sunset beach stroll, like good friends often take, Gabrielle turns around and Xena is back to herself, and everyone cheers, and everything is back to normal. But honestly, I'm mostly just glad that Ares has been reunited with his sword and hair product, because as terrifying as his curly, gelled mullet might be, I think having seen this episode, we can all agree that it's better this way. No one was harmed during the production of this motion picture. However, Xena's ability to recover her body was severely impeded by Lucy Lawless's unexpected mishap.